All homemade things, nothing from a box. Only, I'm just kidding. We are going to be doing not completely homemade things. So, first up on the agenda today, I thought it would be fun to do the infamous like 2-ingredient pumpkin donuts. I say 2-ingredient because it literally just calls for a box of spice cake mix and 1 can of pumpkin. So you can use more though, like if you want to make an icing, you can even just like buy the homemade, or not the homemade, buy the store-bought icing and just like melt it in the microwave. I've seen Kim Wadsworth do that. Or you could just do what I'm going to do, I think. Anyways, I'm going to mix some cinnamon and sugar together and just do like a cinnamon sugar pumpkin donut to kind of blend there. So I think that'll be fun, and I think this is going to be really easy. I hope so anyways. I used to have popping bags. I need to look and see. If I don't, I'll just cut the tip off of a like Ziploc baggie or something and do it that way. I am going to be using my donut pan for the very first time, which I'm super excited about. That means we're officially old when we get excited to use a pan. I don't know, that's what they tell me. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and probably spray this. It should be non-stick. This is the Nordic Wear. I've got this from Walmart, but I love the color. I don't even know if you can tell, but it's like a champagne color. Like it's not, it's a mix between rose gold and gold, sort of. But I think it's very pretty. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started, get this party started. I'm gonna go ahead and mix these two things up, get this spread down, and figure out what we're gonna pop this into the pan with. I did find piping bags. I feel like this is pretty darn big, but this might be okay. So it's been a long time since I've used a piping bag, and I'm hoping that I can even remember how I did this. So I'm just gonna cut the tip off. Let's see, I think we put, is this the part that goes inside? This, right? Okay, I think that plastic piece goes in, or I might be way off track with that. Okay, no, I think we're good. And then we just twist this on. Okay, I think we're good. So we're gonna go ahead and mix up our little thing here. Again, really easy. Anybody can do this. You guys are watching like, yeah, we didn't think we couldn't do this. It doesn't even look hard. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get our pumpkin open. I have a good old handheld can opener. She works like a charm. Alright, so we're just gonna go ahead and dump this entire thing of pumpkin into this mixture. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all we have to do. Just going to mix this all up. It smells fantastic already in here. if I should cut this out or not. Do I even show you guys this? How unbelievably hilarious this looks. Like, I think I'm gonna have to take the tip off, right? This is not what I signed up for. Okay, this is not working. Let's try this. Is this better? Guys, this looks hilarious. Why is this not turning out? This is pretty fun. We're just gonna keep going with it though. Like, do I kind of make a little design with this? Are we doing that? So while we're waiting on the oven to preheat, I had to preheat it to 425 and I was just thinking it was 350. So a little bit of time on that still before I pop these donuts in the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the brownies. We're just gonna do, I have some white chocolate, so I'm not sure if I wanna do like spider webs or, I don't know what I wanna do yet with them. So we're gonna go ahead and get this going. Just very easy, follow, you know, whatever brownie recipe that you want. I thought about trying a homemade recipe, but I was like, you know what, let's just make this, we want something cutesy, quick, just something that we all know that we can do if we are going to like a little Halloween get together and we just need to bring a couple of cute, festive things. I thought this would be perfect. I've actually never tried the Dolly Parton fabulously double fudge brownies, but my go-to is usually the Ghirardelli. We're gonna go ahead and try these. I hope they're good. I'm sure they are. We're gonna go ahead and just mix this up according to our box here, and I'm just now realizing I do not have an egg. Alright guys, so I just got these out of the oven. I don't think I destroyed them too bad yet. I'm gonna let these cool for just a few minutes and then I'm gonna try and pop these out and see what they look like. So I went ahead and did a 1:4 cinnamon to sugar ratio here. I did 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, I believe, with 1/4 cup of sugar. And it was really, that just seemed like the perfect ratio there. It wasn't too overpowering. It still had that sweet taste, which is what I was going for. So I will say that I would recommend rolling the donuts in this like sugar mix while they're still pretty warm, because the ones that had baked first, like my first batch, they had already started cooling too much, and it was kind of hard for me to get the mixture to kind of stick to those. So I ended up having to reheat those a little bit, and they, you know, it turned out a little bit better. But as you can see, some of the donuts looked a little bit better than others. My first batch, I completely forgot to spray down my pan with, you know, like some nonstick spray. So definitely do that. But they didn't come out terrible. I mean, they still all tasted good. This does have a pretty strong pumpkin taste, I will say. So if that's not your thing, you may want to add, you know, a little something else to it. But I did think they were pretty tasty, and they definitely gave me that pumpkin fix that I was looking for on this day. So that's a win, and you can't really get any easier than a box of cake mix with a can. So I spared you guys from watching me mix up a box of brownie mix here, but I did go ahead and just plop that in this pan here. You definitely want to go ahead and spray that with nonstick something or another. But I will say this Dolly Parton brownie mix, this used 1 entire stick of butter, which I was not expecting. I didn't even read the back of the box, but that was pretty surprising. There was, you know, of course, no oil in this. So I went ahead and let those bake, and they were pretty good. Here, my little ghost, I ended up doing the white chocolate ghost things for the top of the brownies. And I'll be honest, I don't know what happened. I used the Ghirardelli white chocolate baking chips, and I did them in increments of like 15 to 30 seconds. Somehow it still got too hard, like too done, I guess, in the microwave. So I ended up, the best way that I found to do this was not just like pulling it down the back of a spoon on this parchment paper. I ended up just taking my fingers, and it gave it like a really nice little, I don't know, just like a more ghosty look, I guess, because I could kind of like swoop the ghost like however I wanted it, however I wanted to there. So the ghost did stick really well to the parchment paper. It was really easy to get off. Like I didn't even need to take a butter knife to get all of these little ghosts off after they cooled. They just plopped off really easily. So I was worried that they would stick to this and be hard and like break when I try to get them off, but they didn't. I was pretty pleased with that. So I ended up just using the mini chocolate chips for the eyes and the nose for the ghost. But if you have, like a little thing of the icing or something, I'm sure you could do that all kinds of ways just to use what you have. That's what I did. So I ended up just plopping a ghost on each piece of the brownie, and it turned out so stinking cute. I thought that was just adorable. The last thing that we're going to be baking together today is a caramel apple bark, and this was really good. Here you can see me go ahead and putting the almond bark in the oven, and I will just go ahead and tell you to use a like a longer, thinner pan than what I did. These were really thick, which I thought was going to be good, but I definitely would recommend maybe just using like 2 pieces of bark and using like a long cookie sheet or something. That way you just get that thinner layer and more true to, your traditional bark. So instead of having it like really thick. But anyways, you can pretty much plop whatever you want on top of this, but to keep it kind of fall inspired, I loved the recipe that I found, and you just use like the green Granny Smith apples with some pretzels, which you'll see me cut up here in just a minute, and some caramel. So I just kind of drizzle that on at the end. It's super easy, and it was really, really good. But I will say this does not keep really more than like a day, because your pretzels are going to start getting soggy and your apples are going to start turning brown. So I'll just make this like right before you need it. That way it looks good and still tastes good. So I just used a bunch of these little mini packs that I had of the pretzels, cut them up into whatever sizes that I wanted, and just threw all this on top of the chocolate after it was melted, and it was really, really good. As always, thank you guys so much for being here and for spending your precious time with me watching my content. That means the world to me to just sit back and think about that. Anyways, here you can see a little in clip of how thick this bark is. So just kind of do it to whatever your liking is, whatever you think you and your family and friends will like. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Your time and support isn't ever lost on me. It's something that I really appreciate. So if you can, please subscribe to my channel before you leave if you haven't already, and help YouTube to push me on out into this YouTube world and get this ball rolling for me to allow others to find my content. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.